Hi, it's Dorothy Guining with Scrapbooking Quebec. Today I'm here for Mercy Tiara Kits and I'm going to be creating a 12 by 12 layout featuring the November 2024 release called Cheerful. Today's layout is super practical. I'll be sharing a quick and easy page 2 design. That's what I call it when I stretch a single page layout into a double page spread. So here's the layout I'll be stretching. I created it last week on YouTube. And here is the material, basically leftovers from last week and mostly from Vicky Bouton's Wrapped in Ribbons collection. This Cheerful collection is seriously beautiful, jam-packed with Christmas product from Vicky Bouton, Simple Stories, Mercy Tiara Kit exclusives, and more. I'm going to be using the main kit, embellishment add-on, cardstock add-on, and indirectly the mixed media add-on. Below you will find a bunch of links to the Mercy Tiara Kit shop, Instagram, and Facebook group. So let's get started. Here's what's on my desk. I do have the page I created last week on YouTube. That will stay close by because that's what I will be stretching. And now I'm going to show you, I have already matted 3 photos. So 3 vertical photos, the same mats that are on the original page, only these 3 photos are a little bit larger. Now I have all of the same papers. Some of them are scraps. The red, white, and green were all part of the cardstock add-on, and I also have that striped paper as well, and I have that text print as well, all from Vicky Bouton, the printed paper. So here are the embellishments. I have ephemera from Vicky Bouton's Wrapped in Ribbons, the same pack that I used on the original page. I have these DIY holly leaves that I created a few weeks ago on YouTube, basically with the mixed media add-on and a pair of scissors, so I will link up that video below. I have the foam titles from Vicky Bouton as well, and I will play with all of that later on, so you will see it all later on. There was a tool I used on the original page. It's this border maker system with the scalloped border cartridge from Creative Memories. I brought that out as well because I used it on the original page. So the first thing I do when I want to stretch a single page into a double page layout is I have to determine what side I want to stretch it to. So right now I'm testing it on the right. I have 3 photos. I'm kind of giving you an idea how I plan to place the photos. I'm going to kind of create a border and then leave one photo freestanding. Border pages are super easy to do if you want to stretch a single page into a double page layout. I find it anyway. So you can see I'm just kind of auditioning different ways of using the paper for a border. Now I'm testing it on the left-hand side, and this is what I do decide to go with the red underneath the photos and having the complementary page or my page 2 design on the left. What I'm going to do right now is cut up some paper to create a wide border. I will put measurements for all of this on the screen a little bit later on when I adhere it to the page. Please keep in mind that I always put measurements for the visible paper only. In this case, the red overlaps that striped paper, so if you want to overlap, you will have to cut larger. Now on the original page, I had a scalloped border that I created with this border maker system from Creative Memory. So I'm doing the very same thing here. So when I stretch a single page into a double page layout, I definitely use repetition. So I'm already repeating colors and papers, but I'm also repeating decorative elements like this scalloped border. So now what I'm going to do is place it on my page and just give you an idea where I'm going with this. Now on the original page, all of the papers, I inked them up with this ink here from VersaFine Clair. The color is Morning Mist, so I'm doing the very same thing, again, repeating once again another element. So I'm repeating the inked edges on the paper. I'm not going to make you watch all of it. You can see now that I've adhered these border strips to my page along with the 2 photos. I'm happy with that. I am being conscious to keep this design really simple with straight lines because I'm considering the page on the right my focal point page, and I don't want to take away emphasis from that. So when I create a complementary page, I keep it simple. You can see I've kept my one photo loose, and what I want to do with that is kind of build it up. If you look on the original page, there are two areas where there is embellishing. What I want to do is create a third area on the page I'm creating today with embellishing, and that's going to form a visual triangle across the two pages, and that's going to create unity across these two pages. So what you see me doing right now is cutting some layers. I just want to build up this photo, almost turn it into a focal point photo. So I will put measurements for this on the screen as well, but I do want to point out that when I create these layered layers for a photo, all I'm looking for are different sizes. So really the measurements aren't that important, but for the purpose of this video, I will put the measurements on the screen. I'm also using that very same ink, Morning Mist by VersaFine Clair, to ink up these papers. So once this is done, then what I'm going to do is adhere those layers behind my photo, and then it's time to start embellishing. So I'm just going to adhere it. You can see there was tape already behind there. Off camera, when I was adhering those other two photos before, I accidentally adhered that one instead of the two that I wanted in that border. Anyway, small detail. Now what I'm going to do is get out the embellishing. So I know I want to kind of add it around that free-floating photo on the left-hand page, and I'm getting out my pieces here. So I have the ephemera from Vicky Boutin. I kind of narrowed down my selection. I have some pieces there that I basically cut from the original page. I'll talk about that a little bit later on. I have those DIY holly leaves I mentioned earlier. I made them on YouTube. They were already on my page that I created, the original page on the right. So I'm going to want to add that on the left anyway. And I also have the foam titles there. That got a little bit awkward. It's late on Friday night, and I've got a little bit of a cold here right now. So you can see I started building up my embellishment cluster. I put those holly leaves there. At this point, I have almost like a journaling block that says Our December Story. That was actually cut off from the journaling box that you see on the bottom right. Actually, I use also a tag there. You see I put kind of a half tag above that photo that I'm decorating right now. Both the tag and that block that you see to the right of the photo were trimmed from ephemera pieces that I used for the journaling box on the right-hand page. Now what I'm doing is I'm looking to repeat that red label element that you see on the right-hand page. You see there's two red labels, one up by the word joy, one down by the journaling box. Well, I'm going to add another red label. I just took it off. It was on a little stick over on the left-hand page as well. So I'm trying to repeat elements here. So I'm repeating the leaves. I'm repeating those red labels. There's another thing I'm repeating. When I put that journaling box to the right of the photo, it's now gone. What I was really trying to repeat was this soft aqua color that is in both of the embellishment clusters on the right-hand page. I want to incorporate that very same color over on the left page, and what I end up using instead of that block that I removed, I will put it on in a minute. I have a little circle that says Merry and Bright. You can see me, I'm about to tuck it in shortly now. I'm just putting in that tag there, and I'm tucking it behind the photo. The words Merry and Bright really aren't important to me for this particular cluster. They're cute, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the color. That ends up getting tucked further underneath the photo. Right now, I am adhering the photo there. At this point, I'm realizing that circle is just sticking out a little bit too much for my liking, so you're going to see me kind of shove it in further underneath the photo, and then the holly leaves, I make them a little bit longer. So I just have to play around with it a bit. I'm not quite happy with it, but in the end, I end up being quite happy with it. So there I go, pushing it down a bit further. And once I'm happy with the leaves, then I will come in with that red foam label there, and it says something like, I don't know, it's like holiday traditions or something like that. I can't read it right now when I'm looking at it on the screen. So there you go. That is almost done. And now I am almost ready to do some finishing touches. So when I do finishing touches, when I stretch a single page layout into a double page spread, I do the finishing touches across the 2 pages. Even though the page on the right has already been done, I am going to tweak it a bit. That's just what I do when I stretch a single page into a double page spread. I started by putting a little sequin from the Mercy Tiara Kit exclusive sequin mix up on that little black tag on the left-hand page. And what I'm noticing now is there is that little black tag there on the left-hand page, and there's also a black label at the bottom right page. So what I'm trying to do is introduce a little bit of black up by the word joy, and I find this wordy bit, it's a little bit too long. I end up cutting it up so it just says, the best way to spread Christmas cheer. It said something like, after that, like, is to sing out loud, but I removed the last few words. I often kind of, alter ephemera pieces to make them work for me, and I placed it underneath the word December, and I kind of like that. Even though it's dark green, it's not actually black. It does kind of read as black, and it creates kind of a subtle visual triangle with that, or at least it reinforces my visual triangle. Now I'm coming in with some extra holly leaves, and in the end I end up tucking 2 extra holly leaves over on the original page. But basically that is it. Here is my finished layout. A super simple border layout that's perfect for pairing with fancier pages. Before signing off, I just want to review what I did to stretch this single page into a double page spread. I used the same material as on the original page. I kept the page 2 design simple. That way it didn't compete with my original page, which is kind of my showcase page. I also used repetition, not only with paper and colors, but also with the embellishments, and this helped unify the 2 pages. I also created a visual triangle across the 2 pages by adding 1 big cluster on the left to complement the 2 clusters on the right. And in the end, I put the 2 pages together and tweaked them. And I often have to tweak the original page along with the page that I created to coordinate with it. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I'd greatly appreciate a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, Scrapbooking Quebec, I would be thrilled and honored if you did. And if you are a subscriber, thank you very, very much. Make sure you check out the Mercy Tiara Kit shop, Instagram, and Facebook page. Take care, and I will see you soon on YouTube. Bye-bye.